Hello and welcome to your reading Cancer Science. This reading is going to be all about your year of 2023, all the lessons that you've learned, the blessings that are coming your way, some messages about career and relationships, and a final angel affirmation card for you. So, starting off with the very first card that we have for you, Cancer Sign, we have card number 9, the Hunter. And the main message that I see with this card, or a theme that you are, or this archetype that you're aligned with, is this crystal clear focus towards where you are headed. And Cancer signs, I see you as people who are really ambitious and driven, and if you make up your mind towards something, that there is this goal that you want to achieve, so that's when you have this very clear focus. You take all the actions that are right for that path, and you start you know marching forward in that direction. And I'm seeing you that at this stage in life where you're at right now, there is a goal that you have, there is something that you've made up your mind about, and you're doing everything in your power to achieve that goal. And with the Hunter, with this archetype, we also see a major message of someone who is seeking something or pursuing something. So this pursuit could be something to do with your career, your professional life, that there is a goal that you have, or there is this level of wealth that you want to create for yourself, and you are doing everything in your power to achieve that, to be there. Or even if it is about having a particular standard of living or a certain kind of life that you envision for yourself, so you are setting all the goals and you are really so focused and determined. That the determination is something that I see so strongly in this energy of the Cancer sign for this coming year forward. And I'm also seeing that your path, or this year ahead, is going to be so much full of adventure and passion, and this fiery energy towards striving towards your goal. And if you are setting your mind towards something, you're really going to do everything in your power to get that and to get there. So with that, let's see all these tarot cards that I have pulled out for you, and what messages do you need to know. The very first card that we have is about the previous year, the year of 2022, and what could be the lessons that you are carrying forward from the past year. And the card that we have for you is the Six of Cups, which tells me that there could have been yeah, so there are a couple of messages here. The six is always about some sense of childhood memories or nostalgia, walking down the memory lane, going back to past memories. So maybe for some of you, there could have been an important childhood memory or experience that came up to the surface for you in the past year, that determine your energies for almost the entirety of the previous year. Or maybe for some of you, you could have um maybe you were away from home for a little while, and then you returned home. And once we do that, even though we've grown up, but we go back to a place where we spent our childhood, or we spent the previous years of our lives. It is, it's such a weird experience in that moment, because we have grown up, we've matured, but the place that we come back to is so intricately connected with these memories that we have of a past time or this past version of yourself. And maybe that is something that you had to navigate in this past year, that yes, those past memories, this nostalgia, or maybe if there has been some childhood hurt that is present, yes, those things exist, they happened, they were real. But also coming to terms with the fact that now you've grown and matured, there is some time and distance away from those memories, and you've turned out to be this very different person, this grown up person. And I'm seeing that there's some element of inner child healing that either you already started in your previous year, or the past year has taught you that inner child, working on your inner child and healing any inner child wounds that might be present for you is a major theme for you, is something that you want to actively work towards. And as I said, with starting off with the Hunter archetype, we see that you are someone who's really focused, and if you have made up your mind to go in a certain direction, so sometimes that focus, um can also be a little bit detrimental, because we feel that just by being focused towards something, we can do everything in our power to get there, and we turn a blind eye towards, like, if this is our focus and if this is the only thing that we're looking at, so we try to have this unrealistic expectation that everything around us is not going to bother us, or we make an active choice that everything around is something we're not going to let those things bother us. So even with this hunter card, for example, if you have a narrowed down focus and you feel that these are the only things that I'm going to look at, and everything else I'm going to neglect, whatever this darkness might be around. So for some of you, this darkness or this difficulty, the shadow element that you're coming to terms with, could have something to do with your past, with your childhood, with certain connections in the past, with certain, whether that's family, relationships, certain memories that are coming up for you. And there is a time that's definitely needed for you to, yes, have a clear focus and a determined path that you're going to walk on, and also have the faith that any goal that you set for yourself, you are going to achieve that. But also make sure that you don't become too um, single headed, in that sense that you just have one single focus towards which you put in your everything and you ignore everything else on the side. Because what might happen in that case is you set your mind towards a goal, you even end up achieving that, and you end up getting all your dreams fulfilled and everything answered. But then when you reach that accomplishment, you might realize that there is a lot that you ignored on the path, and you didn't pay attention to those things, you didn't focus on those things, and then you might regret that, why did I just think about this one thing and neglected everything else that was around. So just make sure that if there's any, because with the cups card especially, if there's any matter of the heart to do with your emotions, creativity, spirituality, your connections in life, if that is something that you feel you are neglecting just because of this focus, this narrow focus that you have, so maybe the need for you to is to expand your focus just a little bit. And this doesn't mean that you have to let go of your goals or dreams in any way. It just means to expand your focus so that you can march forward, but not just you individually, but also taking other people along with you. And now let's look at the second card that we have for you, which is about the lesson that you are learning from this previous year or this experience that you've had. And for you, we have the page of pentacles. So page of pentacles being this earth energy here, so either the earth sign could be significant, someone having an earth sign could have played a major role in your previous year, because the court cards are usually about people, personalities that are present in our lives. And so earth signs, maybe Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, someone with that sign could have been significant in your previous year, and they might have given you this new perspective on life which you earlier weren't too aware of, or you didn't have that in mind because you had that very single focus, because of which you were maybe ignoring other things that were around you. And this new person could have entered your life who really changed and shifted your focus, and it made you realize that there are other things that you also need to take into account when it comes to marching forward in your life, in your own journey. And another message with this page of pentacle is, it could be that one thing that is in your path right now is an opportunity to build your own wealth. And maybe, as I said with the hunter card, if your goal or your vision here has been to create that wealth and abundance for yourself, so I see that maybe there is an opportunity that helps you align with that path that has entered your life. But because this is the page of pentacles, this is still the page card, which tells me that the opportunity that is present right now might still be in its initial stages, where you're not too sure whether this is going to end up in the extent of success and wealth that you envision for yourself. So there, the guidance from universe is that whatever opportunity comes up in your path, make sure that you don't let go of that entirely just because you feel that the rewards from this opportunity, or the returns from this opportunity, is not going to be to the extent that I desire. And that's why, you need to remind yourself that even if you have this focus and this goal that you want to reach towards, and just remind yourself that it's not going to happen overnight or instantaneously. And to reach there, you have to go through these stepping stones, and there might be some opportunity which doesn't give you as much wealth as you're envisioning, but it's still a stepping stone towards building your own skills, building your own capabilities, and showing to others what you're truly capable of and what your potential is. And that opportunity might then eventually lead you towards something that's much more greater, much more grander, and much more aligned with this goal or vision that you have in mind. So make sure that you're not letting go of that opportunity. And also, if there is a significant earth person in your life, make sure that you're also using their guidance, because Cancer, being a water sign, is very much tapped in with the intuition, with emotions. And that's where we also need a balance of practicality and, Cancer being a water sign, we have the cups card that we started off with, but then we also have the earth sign here. So there is definitely a sense of balancing all your goals and visions with practical steps and also a realistic timeline of how your goals are going to be achieved. And it's okay to have ambitions and these big goals, but then we cannot have an unrealistic goal that instead of motivating us, it puts so much pressure on ourselves. So make sure that you're able to balance that when it comes to your dreams and goals for the next year. And the next card is about what exactly these big dreams or goals or visions or aspirations that you have for 2023. And for you, Cancer sign, we have the death card. So I know it can seem a little bit daunting that the death card comes across in this reading, but it's interesting if you see both of these cards together with the imagery of the horse. One card has a white horse and the other has a black one, and it's interesting because this even though the card isn't present here yet, but it um, helps me connect with the chariot sign, which is the Cancer energy. And even in the chariot we see this person marching forward, and we have both the white and the black symbols on it. So one main theme that I'm seeing here is you are learning to accept your own light and shadow aspects, and not just light and shadow aspects of yourself, but also everyone around you. Maybe as I was saying, that there are some childhood memories that could have come up to the surface, or childhood experiences. So even the people in your past who might have hurt you, you are now beginning to see them in a much more holistic perspective. And this doesn't mean that we have to forgive people for the harm that they might have caused, but then beginning to realize that they are also human, they also had their shadow elements which they might have acted upon. And you're also beginning to see your own self in a much more holistic way, that how can you have this balanced sense of holding accountability of your own shadow aspects, that there are some mistakes that you might have made or somewhere that you might have gone wrong, but also your own light elements, that everything that you've done came from a place of either trying to cope with some difficulty that was present in your life, or just this just the balancing our own light and shadow aspect is not an easy journey at all. So how can we have this balance of accountability, but making sure that that accountability doesn't step into too much of self blame and self criticism, that it holds us back from even moving on from that experience and becoming a better version of ourselves. And coming back to the death card with this energy here, I'm seeing that one major aspiration for you, or one major sign that I see here, is with this energy of transformation that this death card brings. So I'm seeing, that you're almost revamping yourself. You are turning your own life around. You are turning your you are basically reforming yourself in some sense. Maybe there is a certain idea of yourself that you held for so long, that this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. And now you are seeing that, okay, maybe these goals that I placed in my life, in my path, were not fully aligned with who I truly am. And that re-evaluation, whenever that introspection, that reflection takes place in life, it's a very crucial moment, because then it truly aligns you with the path that is going to serve you the best. And that's why that I'm seeing that, your year might start off this way, or maybe this is what your past year looked like, where you had a certain idea about yourself, you had a certain goal in mind, and you narrowed down your focus to reach there. But as the year progresses, you are getting to know your own self on a much more deeper level. You are becoming more aware of your own values, needs, who you are, who you want to be. And with that comes crumbling down of our own ego. And this ego, when our ego, this, the death card, I'm seeing this as an ego death in this reading, because everything that your ego convinced you, that these are the desires that I have, this is what I need to fulfill in order to feel like a successful and a fulfilled human being, these are the messages that your ego was feeding you. But this death card, I see this as an ego death that is happening, and you are leaving behind all these expectations, these plans and goals that you set in your life out of some fear on some level, or out of some compulsion. And now that all of that is breaking away, and you are seeing your life in a much more holistic perspective. You're seeing that maybe life is not all about just establishing wealth, but it's also about building up connections in our lives. Or this could be about, you know, understanding that yes, you can work hard and you should be determined and ambitious, but that doesn't mean that you drive your own self towards just complete burnout. And at the same time, if you've had this unrealistic expectation that, you know, any difficult situation that comes in your life, if you feel that you're just going to repress and move on from that experience and not let it affect you, so even that is not very nurturing in our overall journey, because that means that we're not going through that healing and that learning that we have to experience after a difficult emotion, after a difficult experience. And with this death card, I'm seeing that you're really evolving as a person in the next year, and you are aligning with everything that is going to address, maybe if it's a childhood wound or a memory that needs to be healed, that needs to be addressed. Maybe there is forgiveness that either you are seeking or you are forgiving someone else in your life. And also you are overall just broadening your own focus, your own perspective, and you're realizing that there has to be a balance of certain goals that you have in life, but at the same time these goals shouldn't be at the cost of your own burnout, your own health, or even distancing or isolating yourself from other people who can be supportive in your journey moving forward. And with that, let's come to the next card, that is about what is going to empower you, or what are the blessings that you're going to experience that helps you make this change in your life. And the card that we have for you is the Emperor card. So the Emperor, it tells me that first of all, with the Emperor we have the Aries sign. So maybe a person with an Aries sign could be significant in your life, or the Aries season, which is between March to April, could be a significant time for you in the next year, where a significant transformation that takes place in your life. Or overall, this could also be about the your own Emperor qualities or archetype that you need to connect with on a much more deeper level. And when it comes to the Emperor, also understanding both the light and shadow elements of this Emperor, because the Emperor is someone who has this um authority, this leadership quality. And so just, you know, because this is a general reading, I'm seeing a couple of different messages with the Emperor. One message is about maybe some other Emperor person in your life that has caused these difficult experiences. So it could be either a female figure or an authoritative figure that was present in your life, or maybe someone with an Aries sign who has had a significant impact in your life. But this Emperor influence in your life was something that really you saw that like, you know, what I was saying earlier, with certain goals and visions that we have for ourselves, maybe these are not something that you have intrinsically, but this was fed into you. So maybe you had a person around you who was just focused on certain ideas of how life should be led, how you should deal with your emotions. And the Emperor can sometimes be someone who represses their emotions just to appear strong on the outside. And if that is the kind of socialization that you've had, that is the kind of learning that has taken place for you, then you might continue to have the same visions and ideas and goals for your own self. But now, as I said, with this ego death, all there's a lot of unlearning and relearning that is taking place for you. So things that you earlier were convinced of, that this is how I want to lead my life, or this is how I should be, all of those are breaking down, and you are seeing yourself in a much more holistic and a much more compassionate way. And with the Emperor, I'm also seeing that once that breakdown happens, you are then going to um, take much more of an active charge of your own life. You're going to step away from this autopilot mode of just deciding something and going on that path and convincing yourself that this is a decision that I've made, or a path that I've chosen, so now I'm just going to keep continuing on it without re-evaluating my own needs or my own dreams and desires. But instead of that, you are taking a more active role in your life, and you are, as I said, that the theme of revamping yourself, re-evaluating yourself, and just this complete transformation of the self that is taking place is a major theme for you, Cancer sign, in 2023. And during this process, just make sure that you are integrating and accepting both your light and shadow elements, and any decision that you're taking, it shouldn't be out of compulsion or out of fear of what you've been taught, but rather you are becoming much more empowered in your own self, in your own abilities, and knowing that you are allowed to have your own dreams. You don't have to follow the dreams of others or what others have taught you as, this is how your dreams should look like. You're breaking away from that. You're experiencing an ego death where you are no longer operating from a position of fear or just protecting yourself, but rather you are seeing yourself in a much more holistic way, what your own needs and desires are, and what is a path that truly makes you feel fulfilled, and not just a path that you've been forced into choosing because of the people around you, because of the expectations around you. And the next card that we have is about what are the potential obstacles or challenges coming in the next year that you need to be aware of. And the card that we have for you is the Ace of Wands. So Ace of Wands, it is a very positive sign. It is full of blessings of a new beginning, but at the same time new beginnings can also pose a challenge for us, because whenever there is a beginning we have to make a lot of adjustments and we have to make certain changes in our lives. So maybe with the Ace of Wands, as your priorities are changing, as you are learning about yourself on a much more deeper level, maybe this opportunity that is coming forth for you, this could require you to relocate or make some changes in your life to be able to take this opportunity forward. So this Ace of Wands could be talking about maybe travel, moving somewhere else, relocating, or it could even be about, because we had the death card here, and death is about, one chapter of our lives, one cycle that is completely closing and a new cycle that is starting off. So this death being followed by the Ace of Wands could be about a new beginning altogether, like starting from scratch. So as I was saying earlier, that maybe you are getting to know yourself on a deeper level, and you're realizing that the dreams that you had so far were not your own, but what you were expected or pressured into believing or hoping and dreaming for yourself. And now all of that is breaking apart, which we see with the death card here, and instead you're starting on a completely new journey. So maybe there is something else that you wanted to study or some other field that you wanted to work in, but because of some pressures in your life, some expectations, or some responsibilities, you could not take that path. And now that this ego death is happening, you are becoming once again free to connect with these dreams. And especially because your reading started with the Six of Cups card itself, maybe this could be about a childhood dream or a vision that you had about your life, that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to make of myself and my life. But maybe there was this authority figure in your life, or there was this pressure from outside because of which you couldn't follow these childhood dreams and desires, and you had to let go of that path. And now I'm seeing that you're slowly and steadily stepping into this new energy. You're taking a much more active role in your life. You're taking charge of your life. And that's why overall I see 2023 as being a year that is full of new beginnings, of new blessings, of new opportunities coming your way. And you are holding this wand, you're holding the key to all your desires and all your manifestations coming true. And that's a big, big blessing that I see in your energy for 2023, Cancer signs. And the final card that we have for you is about your overall relationships and emotions. And with that, we have a very positive card which is full of fun, that is this Three of Cups. And I see this as a card of friendships, mostly friendships, having this jolly time of connections, of meeting new people, of learning about new perspectives. And there is just a lot of joy and celebration and even socialization. So, for example, when you were going through this death phase, or if, whether it was something in the past or something you're going to encounter, that can feel like a lonely experience because your entire worldview is shifting. You are letting go of an older version of yourself and stepping into this new identity or this new self of yours that you are aligning with. And that can be a lonely journey and a lonely experience. And not just in terms of, not having people around, but even when there are people around, they might not fully understand your experiences or what you're going through. And now with this Three of Cups, I'm seeing that the energy is shifting a lot from that lonely journey of solitude, of inner work and healing, towards this supportive space and a connection where you feel like you belong, where you experience people around you who think like you do, who have had similar experiences. And there's a lot of support that I see here. And even with the three of cups here, I'm seeing that your own emotions are, you are allowing yourself to become a bit more vulnerable with them. So for example, if for so long you have tried to, as I said with the emperor card, if you've tried to appear strong, and if you've tried to convince yourself that the only sign of strength is not showing our emotions or not being vulnerable with other people, I'm seeing that that aspect of yourself is also something that you're letting go of. You are becoming much more open and vulnerable with your emotions, and that in turn is helping you connect with the people who can support you in this journey. And I'm seeing a total shift taking place in your own ways of dealing with life and your own priorities that you've had. But again, coming back to the hunter archetype, I'm seeing that it's not that any of these experiences are going to take away from the goals that you have. You are still going to have these same goals and desires and visions for yourself, but the what is changing is how you're approaching these goals, and how you're also seeking support from around you that can help you achieve these goals in a much more fulfilled manner. And also, if for example your goal is to have a certain standard of living, so it's not that you're giving up on that goal or that focus altogether. Rather, you're realizing that there are other ways of reaching that goal other than just completely becoming a workaholic, stressing yourself out and reaching a point of burnout. So the outcome or the final goal that you're trying to reach is still the same. It's just that approach towards achieving that goal is shifting, is transforming, and with that you are also transforming your own self, your own priorities. And with that, let's come to the final angel card that we have for you along with the affirmation. And the card that we have for you is adventure. So if you want, you can take a moment and pause this reading if you wish to take a screenshot with the affirmation. But overall, with the adventure card, I see that, you know what I was saying earlier with the hunter card and having that unidirectional focus or this focus towards just this one thing. And when that happens, we are less likely to take risks, and we're more likely to follow the path that feels comfortable for us, that feels reassuring for us to follow. And I'm seeing that you are allowing yourself to go through this period of death, of re-evaluation, and this new beginning. And whenever that happens, it can be a bit of a risky move that you are, it's a new adventure that you're starting all together, right? So make sure that any new opportunity that comes your way, you are taking on that opportunity, even if that involves a little bit of a risk, as long as you intuitively know that it can overall contribute to your own growth. And the adventure card, it also says that the angel wisdom suggests you get out of any habits or ruts in which you are stuck. So, if there is a pattern or a habit that you find yourself stuck in, you need to break free from that. And with the ego death that we're experiencing here, I'm seeing that all these habits are naturally going to leave your life because you're finding healthier alternatives to them. You're finding um other healthier ways of facing life and facing these challenges that are in your path. And I want to read out the specific part in this card that says, if if the path ahead seems dark, do as you would if you were exploring a dark place. Ask your angels to light up the way, then watch for the signs and signals that tell you where and how to go. So, as I was saying with even the hunter card, that we cannot go forward in a path by ignoring the darkness. Rather, see that darkness as an adventure, as this journey that you're embarking upon, and develop this attitude of curiosity. And instead of ignoring all these challenges that might be placed in your way, but rather questioning that, what are these experiences teaching me, what can I gain out of it? And remember that you're not alone in this journey, you have support around. Just reach out to the people who can support you. And this card also says that explore with new excitement, explore the new with excitement and courage. These magnetic qualities attract money and career openings and add zest to relationships. So I'm seeing that you have to, this sense of openness that is coming forth, that if you've had a certain vision or an idea of how your life should be, that is opening up a lot, that is changing, that is transforming. And you are, if you want to reach this focus or this goal that you have, maybe there is some need to reevaluate the things that you're doing currently, and are they actually fulfilling you and helping you reach there faster, or would you reach there faster by saying yes to more opportunities, more connections that are going to be supportive, and these new adventures that might be in your path. And finally, the angels are inspiring you to move forward with anticipation, expectancy, and hope. So there is a lot of growth, a lot of hope, a lot of adventure and learning that is there in your path for 2023 Cancer signs. And finally, I'm going to end your reading with the affirmation that we have on this card, which says, I face the adventure of life eagerly. So you can affirm this by typing in the comments below and just saying this out to yourself, that I face the adventure of life eagerly. So thank you so much for joining the reading Cancer signs. And if you want, you can also check out the other zodiac sign readings for your moon sign as well as your rising sign. So sending you a lot of love, light, and power, Cancer signs. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I post regular pick a card readings, and I'll see you in my next reading. Bye bye.